my dudes, my guys, my freaking boys. Another video. This one's gonna be a little bit different. I got done with work early this week, so I've been neglecting this thing and neglecting doing this for about a year now. Now it's getting cold again, so it's getting hard to start again. So looks like it's time to do glow plugs in the 7.3. And while I'm in there, while everything's apart, might as well do the up pipes. I think up pipes are literally the hardest things to do on these trucks. And I am not a mechanic by any means. I am a welder. So I always make sure I mention that. I'm definitely a welder. I'm not a mechanic. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and rip this stuff apart and hopefully maybe do glow plugs and up pipes, or get it towed to somebody's shop and have them finish it, because like I said, I'm not a mechanic. So but this is what we got. So all of this has to come out. The entirety of this, all of this comes out to do this job. So I'm gonna start tearing stuff apart. So it's only really been maybe 5-10 minutes and this valve cover is ready to come out. I assume this is the easy one and that's the harder one on that side, but I'm kind of gonna do everything all at once. So I don't have the glow plugs right now. My girlfriend's bringing those home from her work. So what I'm gonna do is start focusing on getting the intake plenum out, and then that intercooler pipe over there, and then maybe I'll do the glow plugs the up pipes first, since I don't have the glow plugs in yet. That way just stuff isn't falling down in there. I also need to address, there's a diesel fuel leak somewhere in this area, so I'm hoping that after I take this plenum out, I'll be able to see that. So yeah. Also, every time I do a video, my battery dies on my electric ratchet, so I'm probably gonna end up having to do the rest of this by hand, but we'll see. So let's get after it, going good. Alright, so we have all this stuff out. The intercooler pipe out over there, and the intake plenum's out, which is a big thing, and as you can see, it is pretty dirty down there. I don't know whether that's a dead mouse. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, I don't know whether that is a dead mouse or just an old mouse home, but yeah, we definitely have some kind of diesel fuel leak down there. I'm gonna address that, but I'm gonna try to get this turbo out first. So to get the turbo out, I know there's these bolts for the plenum or the pedestal, but I'm gonna try to take these top ones out. Up here, there's two top ones that hold the turbo down. I'm gonna try to take those out. I gotta take the V-band off the down pipe, and there's a V-band all the way in the back for the up pipes that is apparently a pain to get to. I mean, so I don't know how to work on, I mean, I guess I kind of know how to work on cars, but I don't like to say I know how to work on cars. I know how to work on like older Hondas. This hasn't been that bad so far. I'm probably just screwed myself saying that, but I mean, so far it hasn't been too bad. So let's try to get this turbo out. So I've ran into my first issue. The V-band for the up pipes won't come off. So like, you can get to it through here, but it literally won't come off. So guess we get to get creative now. I just really don't want to break that V-band. I'm sure Ford would probably have one, but I'd rather not break it. Wonder if I loosen the up pipes, if I could like jiggle them and help it out. I'm gonna try to mess with it this way for a little bit, and then we'll see what happens. All right, so I can't get that V-band off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to undo the up pipes from the bottom now, and see if I can like jiggle them and see if it'll break that V-band loose. Because I can't get the turbo to move because it has like a dowel pin that holds it in place. So I can't jiggle the turbo. So the only other options is jiggling the up pipes. So guess it's time to get under the truck and start doing those. Every time I think about lowering my truck, I'm like, yeah, that'd be such a good idea. And I realize that I'm not gonna be able to get under it anymore. And I don't really have the stuff to like jack this stuff up. Like my jacks are like 2-ton jacks, which I'm not gonna trust under here. My whole, like, if I weighed another like 10 pounds, I'm not getting under here. So, all right, so we gotta take these 2 bolts out. They're super rusty, 100% gonna break. It is what it is. I'll go grab new bolts or something. So I'm just gonna try to fight these out for a minute. All right, so I got the up pipe out. The bolts are still completely tight. I would say that it was probably time for some up pipes. Oh man. Alright, I'll tell you all this for free. This side is gonna suck significantly worse. That nut is like rusted to the header. So not looking forward to this side. This side is not gonna be fun. Other side wasn't too bad. This side is gonna make me work for it for sure. Alright, so kinda as I figured, it's snapped. So it's loose. I can't get that nut out of the header because I think the bolt's bent. But that's an issue for later down the road. We'll figure that one out. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back up top and see if I can get this whole thing out. The up pipe gaskets were so loose that like, you can see how much it's moving. They're so loose that I wasn't able to actually like jiggle that V-band loose like I was hoping. So yeah, I guess I get to go up top and try to figure that out. Well, we got her out of there. I got pretty lucky. The gaskets for this up pipe were so shot that it just came out. I also forgot about the exhaust back pressure valve. So to do that, it's got like an actuator that goes into the pedestal. It's got a little tab on it. You push the tab open and pull it down and it just comes right off there. It was pretty easy. Like I said, I couldn't get this off, but now that it's out of the truck, I will be able to deal with that. And just gotta pull that up pipe out and then get that bolt out, or get that nut out and throw the rest of the stuff. All right, so my battery died, and I didn't really do much more after that. I did take this valve cover off, and I took the valve cover gasket out and all the wiring harness, stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just spray some air down in there to get some of the oil away from the glow plugs. That way it doesn't drop down into the cylinder or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then start pulling these glow plugs out. All right, so we got this side of the motor done with the glow plugs. Now I got to throw the valve cover gasket back on. And for those of you guys who aren't too familiar, the valve cover gasket is also an engine harness. It is pretty wild, but I get to throw that back on. Then I can throw this valve cover back on and then hop over to the other side. So let's get to it. All right, we got the easy side done. Now we get to do the hard side. So this side's a bit harder because we got to deal with the fill thing, these hoses here. The dipstick tube has to get moved out of the way, and then like a bunch of these jumble of wires here have to get moved out of the way. And then getting tools down through there, there's not a lot of room, so let's get it. So I think I have to do like the absolute most to get this valve cover out because I can't get it out. So what I'm going to do is just unplug the glow plug wires, like this one right here. Just going to go in here and unplug all those. You can't see because it's absolutely pitch black because there's no light in here. I'm gonna go undo all of those, and then I'm just gonna leave the valve cover sitting here and replace all those glow plugs just like this. All right, so this is a technique I have going on right here. If you can see, that little dot off to the right of the side of that plug is the glow plug. So what I'm doing is I'm sending this 10 mil down there. I'm breaking it loose. There it goes. Oh, there goes the light, of course. So it's going like that. I'm breaking it loose with this, and then popping this off like that, and then I'm doing it by hand because you can only do it so much because you got to make sure that you clear the push rod like a rocker. So I'm trying to get as far off as I can with just this. And I noticed this Harbor Freight thing, it doesn't fit super well, so you can kind of sneak it past there a little bit easier. It's like right there is probably about max I'm gonna be able to get. So I'm throwing this out of the way, and then I'm taking this vacuum hose here, handy dandy vacuum hose, and shoving it down on the glow plug tip right here like that. There's a hose on it, and then twisting the hose, and that is getting the glow plug out. And I sprayed air down in there to get some of the oil out, but I feel like no matter what it's gonna fall back in there a little bit. So there we go. There's the oil, or the oil plug. Glow plug's out. Throw it up here with my others. Open up another bag, and then doing the reverse process to get it in with the hose and stuff like that. So, and of course using all Motorcraft stuff. Alright, so the glow plugs are in, both valve covers are back on. I cleaned both valve covers. So there you go. Clean both valve covers. So now we're ready to set the turbo back in. And I think what I'm going to try to do is for sure need to put the new rear housing on before it goes in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to try to attach the one up pipe and see if I can like sneak it in. I think there might be enough room to do that, but maybe not. I don't know. I just don't know how to get to the bolts on the top on this side. I'm sure there's a way. I just don't want to drop the down pipe. It's a pretty big down pipe, and like I don't have a lift or anything like that, so I have no idea if I can actually get it out of the truck without a lift. So I'm gonna try to, like I said, I'm gonna try to connect that up pipe and put it in there with just the up pipe loose so it can like move around a little bit and hope for the best. But I will update you after I get all this stuff together and start setting it in. All right, so I got the turbo all the way up here and started trying to figure out how I was gonna get in there with that up pipe on. It's not. So I'm gonna have to take this back off and then set everything back down in there and then figure out how I'm gonna get to these bolts after it's in there, but that'll be a problem for a later time, like in a couple hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and then we'll set it down. Alright, so the turbo's in. I still got it kind of loose, and the back housing is still kind of loose, and the V-band's kind of loose. So basically what I'm going to try to do is put everything on loose and then tighten everything up after that. So I have the driver's side up pipe in. It was pretty easy, just throw it up in there and it fit. The passenger side one, however, it's not working so hot. I don't know whether I could do it if the downpipe's in the way, but it's almost acting like it's too long or something. So what I'm gonna try to do is undo the back, the whole housing that goes on the back of the turbo. I'm gonna undo that, and then hopefully like move it over a little bit, and then I'll be able to put that up pipe in place, and then maybe I'll be able to sneak it in. I still have absolutely no idea how I'm gonna get to the bolts. Thinking, actually, you know what I might do? I might pull the turbo back out of it, put that stuff in there, keep it like kind of tight, and then put the turbo back in. That would probably be the smarter way to do it. I'm gonna do that. I just thought about that. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and pull this turbo back out again and then just get the up pipes on that housing. That way I can actually like, get it in place. And then I'll probably tighten the top passenger side, and then I'll keep all the driver's side stuff loose, and the bottom passenger side I'll keep loose. That way it has a little bit of wiggle room at least. And then I'll put the turbo back in, tighten that clamp up, and then tighten everything back down. That's probably the smart way to do it. I don't know why I didn't think about that at first. All right, I'm gonna do that. All right, so I have the up pipes in now. That side is all the way tight. This side I just have the one bolt in very loose. It looks like it's at the very wrong angle, so hopefully it's not. I'm gonna put this thing in and find out, I guess. I'm scared that that up pipe on that side is like the wrong orientation or something, because that does not look like where it's supposed to be, but maybe it just looks like that because it needs to come forward, because right now it's really loose. You can move it all around and stuff. So I'm gonna try to set this turbo in and then see how it goes. The turbo's in. That up pipe right there is tight. That whole housing in the back is good, it's tight. So I think I'm gonna call it quits here for today. Look at how I'm sitting in this thing. Crazy. I'm gonna call it quits for the day. I'll come back tomorrow and button everything up and it should be good. So now the hard part's done. It's hopefully, God, I said that earlier and then it just went downhill. But the hard part's done now, so now it should just be tighten up the up pipes, which they're all started. I think I need to do one more bolt in this driver's side one, but I can clearly see it from the bottom of the car, so it's not a big deal. And then just throw the plenums on, and I'm gonna see if I have any new intake boots to go around the intake manifolds, if that's what you want to call them. Just because those ones seem like they were leaking. There's like a lot of oil and stuff down in here, and I think that's where it was coming from. And there was marks on the inlet or whatever. So I'm gonna try to see if I can clean those up or something, and see if I can get them a little tighter or something like that, and maybe change the flange or change the couplers out. So yeah, that's that. I will catch up with y'all tomorrow. We can finish this thing up, and hopefully it'll start right up since it has fresh glow plugs. So the old intake manifold couplers were leaking, so I had these two laying around, and they're like nicer ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to put those down on there, and then those intake manifold on, which I swear is the hardest part of all of this, because they're like on an angle like this and it has to like drop down, but just the way that works doesn't work at all. So I'm gonna sit here and fight that for a minute. Well, that went significantly better than what the last 3 times I've ever done this has gone. I think I figured it out. So since these things have like little legs on them, you can't just like put it down because it hits on both sides, because it's wider at the bottom than it is at the top, right? So what I did is I put, how did I do this? I put this side on the housing, slid it like on, and then as I'm sliding it on, this side was on the intake manifold that goes to the head. Then I just like took a screwdriver and put it around there. So that's good now. I got my O-ring in here. So now I just gotta put all this stuff back together. Then we might be ready to start it, dude. We gonna start this thing today? That'd be cool. Alright, so everything's back together. All the intercooler pipes are in, the up pipes are on, factory air box is back in, batteries are hooked up, everything is good. I just got my tools up here, my tools back there. The only thing I'm unsure about, if anyone's watching this and can tell me, there's this right here, and there's a plug right here. I have no idea what it goes to, but it's like zip tied out of the way. It says important something. I don't know, it's in like Spanish or something, so I don't know where that plug goes. I feel like it probably wasn't plugged into anything. I mean, I could be super wrong. I guess we'll see if there's a check engine light, but now we got to do left is try to start it and see if it'll start. All right, so let's just let the glow plug light, that's your glow plug light right there. I'm gonna let it cycle real quick, and then we'll try to start it as is and see if it'll go. All right. Good thing we just changed the glow plugs. Okay. I was hoping that was gonna be a start, but here we are. Let's let it cycle again. And it's better than what it normally does, so. We also got a crucial miss. We got a big miss. Something's not happy. All right, let's figure that out. All right, so the only thing that I was worried about happened. Normally I take stuff apart, I replace everything while I'm in there, and this one time I did not, and I assumed that the the valve cover gasket, since it's like the valve cover gasket harness. I'm assuming that that's not happy because the passenger side header is warm and the driver's side header is not, which means this whole bank of 4 cylinders isn't firing. So that means that all of this gets to come back out to go in there and figure out what's going on. So not very happy about that, but that's what I get, I guess. Damn it. All right, so now we do a gamble. I unplugged it, and this plug, which is like the main plug for the whole valve cover gasket harness, was a little bit out. It wasn't plugged in all the way, it looked like, for some reason. So I just touched it and it's plugged in now. All of our injectors are clearly plugged in. So now it's a gamble. Do we put it back together and hope it works? Or do we just go buy another gasket? I mean, it's not that hard to take apart. It's just annoying. I think what I might do is put like 4 bolts in the valve cover, plug the main harness in, throw a battery in it, and try to start it and see if it'll start. I feel like that'd probably be the best bet. I think I'm gonna try to do that. I mean, it should start without like the intercooler coupler and shit. I don't think too much stuff will get all over the place. I don't know, maybe I'll just put it majority of the way back together and hope for the best. Let's do that. I'm just gonna put it back together real quick. Also, my GoPro's dying. If you've made it this far into this video, I super appreciate you. If we can get this shit to like 500 views, I will buy another battery, because that's why I've been so like intermittent with this and not doing much time lapse here towards the end, because my battery's about to die. So I'm gonna throw this back together real quick, and hopefully it will be fine. All right, probably the dumbest move I've ever done, but I put everything back together because that's how confident I am, but that's not the way my life works. So let's see how this goes. We will let it cycle. Hopefully we shouldn't let it cycle once, because like it's got new glow plugs, so it should start. Oh, let's go. Running like a top. Yes, sir. Oh, perfect. Love to see that. Maybe it's working for now? I don't know. I'm gonna go clean up the tools and go take it for a little test rip. That would have been far too easy had it just worked. Has a boost leak. I'm pretty sure I know where it's at, and I have no idea how to fix it because I thought it was together. So, but I think it's where the that little intake plenum thing meets up with the turbo. I think that's where it's leaking at. So I guess we'll go back home real quick and try to sort that out, because I mean it's running great other than that. So but when I was tightening it, I don't like the hose clamps they have are like the worm style hose clamps, and like it felt like it was tight, but I kind of knew it wasn't tight. I think like in the back of my head I was like, there's no way that's all the way tight. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna go back and try to tighten that up or something, figure that out, because that's got to be what it is, because it's building 0 boost. So if it's building actual no boost, I'm willing to bet that's what it is. So I thought it was this guy, because like it doesn't look like it's on there very good, but it's on there. When I was messing that, I hit this. Look at that. The wastegate line isn't hooked up. So I guess that somehow popped out of its home. It goes right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook that back up, and that would definitely cause a no boost issue. So I don't really like how these things are. There's like nothing really holding them together. So, but it's plugged in now, and then let's try to drive it again. So this is my boost gauge right here, and still not getting any boost. So don't know what's going on there. Should be building like at least 10 pounds, and it's not moving. I'll fully claim the biggest idiot of the rest of 2022. We have boost again. Remember, this is the boost gauge right there, so building like 22 pounds of boost now, so that's about where it should be with the tuner. So got that figured out. So what it was is when I was taking the cooler pipes out, I thought I only did like 1 coupler on each side, which I did on the passenger side. The driver's side, I did both coupler, or both clamps. So the clamp that goes to the intercooler took much longer than what it was supposed to, but I mean, everything's good now. So like I said, I'm not a mechanic, I'm a welder. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see y'all later.